level of comfort that Dana has with the offense and I have with the offense definitely isn't the level of comfort that Clint has with the offense, and you can imagine. So I mean, we're trying to be subtle with signals. We're trying to do things in a fashion with speed related of getting things in that. I mean, a guy that's new to the system, I mean, he likes the things to be crystal clear, you know. And there's certain adjustments we make through the game that has to be signaled in. And those adjustments, you know, I mean, you sit there and you rep things through practice and you have a game plan laid out. When that game plan changes, which it inevitably does every game, then those signals aren't something you've repeated all week, you know. So, I mean, and adjustments are hard when you're new to the system. I mean, that's all. I mean, the only answer is just continued reps, you know. I mean, he's a smart kid. He just has to get to where it's second nature to him.
Is there any way to simplify it? I mean, is there any way to kind of keep the training wheels on when he's out there and learning, or is it kind of just throwing him out and seeing if
Well, I mean, we do to some extent, but I think when you're in the course of a game, you try to win the game, you know. So, I mean, I think it's like being in a fight, you know. You have a plan until you get hit, and then you're trying to adjust and win the game.
Was it complicated last week because maybe Oklahoma State was familiar and you kind of had to be sneaky, and that was another thing for him to deal with?
I don't think it was overly complicated. I mean, there was some, you know, the last week, and I said the last couple weeks, we hadn't been overly complicated this year, in my opinion. And so it's not just the quarterback. I mean, we got a lot of new guys out there in a lot of different positions. So we're trying to keep it as simple as possible, and also have the ability to attack the defense, you know. And we don't want to be predictable. And so, I mean, at times when you simplify things to that extent, you can be predictable. So it's a fine line there, but we are trying to get it to where they can execute it.
With Baylor's defensive improvement, how much of that is a product of who they played? How much of it is a product of just their overall improvement from last year?
I mean, I think it's definitely improved. You can look at their defense through the course of last year. You know, and they played some pretty tough teams at the end of last year, and they improved through the course of the year. The last game they played was UCLA. They played pretty daggum good. And so, you know, I mean, you can only play the people that are on your schedule. And so that's who they had to play, you know. So, I mean, it's hard to score that many points against air. It's hard to hold people to 0 and 7 points, you know, by accident. Some people can score 14 or 21. So those guys are playing good football. And, I mean, we'll see Saturday, you know. I mean, I think our defense is playing well. It'll be a good matchup to watch.